Brownie's back. Okay, so the guy who was the FEMA director during the Hurricane Katrina fiasco was interviewed on Fox News about the current situation in the Gulf with oil. Now, it's interesting to note that he was very angry and attempted a few times, I believe, from what I could see, to conceal and mislead information. So let's take a look at some of the stills and then we'll look at some clips. First thing we want to look at is a contempt face. And he was talking, when he was being asked questions about the media, he showed this contempt look on his face. And that is seen by an upraised lip here on the side of his face. Let's take a look. Okay, now the next still I want to show you is another facial expression, and what you'll see is that both sides of the face are not the same. If someone's actually expressing something truthfully, often both sides of the face will be symmetrical. When it's not symmetrical, that would be an indicator that don't necessarily believe what they're expressing. Now, he is talking here about how he hopes that someone within the EPA will be able to do what he couldn't do. Okay, so this next one we've talked about before. Now, if someone doesn't necessarily feel that what they're about to express they truly believe, or they're kind of wishy-washy on it, they'll often shrug one or both of their shoulders or go like this. So in this next clip, I want you to look for the shrug when he talks about whether the people at the EPA care or not, and then immediately after, the contempt display as well. Let's take a look.
The ball. I don't think they care.
But Michael.
Okay, the next two clips I want to show you are about blinking. Now, when someone increases their blink rate, it's often an indicator of high stress, fear, and perhaps deception. So the first clip I want to look at is where the reporter is asking him questions. Count the number of eye blinks that you see.
But leaving aside what our future exploration plans are, he said early on he relied on reports coming out of BP. Remember when all those guys were injured and 11 went missing? That BP said that it had it relatively contained, and that those are the early reports he relied on. How is that different than the argument your former boss made, that local authorities on the ground felt that ahead of the disaster things were relatively contained?
Okay, now while he's talking, count the number of blinking instances that there are and ask yourself, has that increased from when he was listening to when he was talking?
Here's what's different, because we were actually on the ground also. We knew what was going on and how bad it was, and kept reaching back to the White House saying, we need these things, we need X, Y, and Z. I'm assuming, and I grant you it's an assumption, I'm making an assumption that even though BP may have been telling the Coast Guards and others, we're doing everything we can, EPA should have been there.
Thanks everybody, see you next time, bye-bye.